Right, welcome everybody. I want to welcome you to the Monday night quantum field x39 presentation. My name is Dr. Tony Smith. I'm a doctor of chiropractic in Palmdale, California. So I'm out on the West Coast. I know you guys are getting a little late at night. We're still in the, I guess, early evening, but I'm really excited to have everybody on here and to share why my office and everyone around this region is really getting excited about what we have our hands on. Just to kind of give you a little background, I was introduced to this about 6 months ago. And it really intrigued my interest because I knew quite a bit about stem cells. I actually work in a multidisciplinary facility. We have orthopedic surgeon, pain management, podiatry, general physicians, and then I do the chiropractic and rehab, pre and post-surgical stuff and overall health and wellness. So I've been around the health and wellness field for many years. I've been in practice 29 years, so I'm not new to the industry or new to health and wellness. So when this was introduced to me, I was like, man, is this even possible? I actually didn't even realize that this type of technology was out there because our orthopedic surgeons, they do stem cell injections, PRPs, cortisone injections, things like that. And that was the only thing I was familiar with. So I wasn't even, had never been introduced to anything like this and technology. But the crazy thing is that I knew about infrared technology because we utilize some of those sources in our office for healing and to accelerate healing and for health and well-being with athletes and different things. So I kind of had a little understanding, a little basis. But when this was introduced, man, it really piqued my interest. So if you're just getting on for the first time, you may not know why you're here, but trust me, you are in a great position because somebody thought enough of you to that's going to make a difference in your life. And that's one of the things that I got excited about because I literally believe that we are going to make an impact in a lot of people's lives across the country. And so I'm excited to get out and spread the word and kind of help educate people a little bit about it. But just getting out and putting patches on people, I mean, that's what it comes down to, is letting people try it and experience. And that's one of the things that I really got excited about, was seeing the results, things that were happening with people by just putting a patch on it. Because I've been in health and wellness, I've been around nutritional supplements, and sometimes we educate people on how to be proactive with their health, but you don't get immediate results. You just try to educate them on what they should do. But when you have something like this and you start to see firsthand evidence of people responding in a short period of time, that really gives confirmation that we're on the right track and we're making an impact with people. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to put the screen up here, and there we go. So have you been patched yet? A lot of people are just getting on for the first time. Maybe you haven't been patched yet, but trust me, whoever invited you, get with them quickly and get patched up. Because like I said, when I was introduced to it, I started researching and checking it out. And then I started putting patches on people and just kind of getting the feedback and seeing what the response was. And lo and behold, in a short period of time, I started seeing benefits. There's also some that did not have a quick response, but understanding when I go through this and kind of share with you what is actually happening, that this is overall long-term health. So sometimes it doesn't happen overnight, but you can start to see things change over a period of time as long as you stick with it long enough. And so what I'm going to do is go on. And so why are we talking stem cells? What are stem cells all about? So just to give you a little basis and background, a stem cell is the foundational cell of every cell in the body. It makes up ligaments, tendon, bones, every organ, every tissue in the body starts from a stem cell. So as we age, our stem cell production starts to slow down. So when we get to about age 30, 50% of our stem cell production slows down. By the time we hit to 60, 90% of our stem cell production slows down. And that's why you start to see the aging process. You start to see, wrinkles show up. We don't heal as fast. We're fatigued and tired, and we just don't bounce back from I mean, even like staying up late at night hurts you longer than or more than it used to when you were younger, because your cells just don't regenerate as fast. And so understanding that we have this science and this technology to get out and make a big impact with people's lives. And this is coming from a patch. And so when I show this little patch here, this is what it is. This is the X39 patch, and there's no stem cells in this particular patch. So what it's doing, it's based off our body's infrared light and heat. It's activated by the infrared light and heat, and it stimulates the release of copper peptides and then the release of the stem cell act. So what's in this particular patch is what they call organic nanocrystals. And the scientist who actually made this particular patch is a genius in itself, just because he figured out the certain light wavelength that could actually activate these copper peptides and that reactivate your stem cells. So understanding that the only way in technology prior to get stem cell activity or to get stem cells in your body was to draw them from bone marrow, or to actually do embryo, which is, very controversial. So we're not going to go into that, but we have a way to safe, non-invasively, and affordably activate our own body stem cell, which is the best way to do it. Because when you can reactivate your own body system, it's safe and effective, and you activate your body to start working like it should. When we were younger, you remember like falling and banging something, or even I see kids, they may fracture a bone, and within 3 weeks, that bone is healed up. When we get older in age, it takes 3 months to heal a fracture, or even longer. So understanding that when we can reactivate these stem cells, the body can do incredible things if we put it in the right environment. And that's what we have our hands on, is making such an impact with this technology. Now, Lifewave itself, it's not a brand new company, but in the last couple of years, it's had significant growth over the last few years because of the release of this stem cell reactivation patch, the X39. So it's a very stable company and has been around for 19 plus years. And what's really incredible or exciting is that the scientist who started the company, David Schmidt, he actually came up with some incredible technology to help out the armed forces, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But because of his technology, he was able to evolve it into what the X39 is today. So understanding this company prior to 2019 did about 20 million a year. Now with the release of the stem cell reactivation patch, the X39, it's driven sales to up over 280 million a year. So we're talking over 25 million per month. When we were talking 20 million a year of annual sales, now we're talking over 25 million a month, and steadily growing over the last few months. And the really cool thing about this as well is that we're open in 75 different countries, which is pretty unique for a company like this, or a company in the health and wellness, because a lot of countries are very restrictive of what they allow come into their countries. But this is considered in many countries as a medical device. And so because of the technology and what we have our hands on, it's actually listed and accepted in multiple countries. So we're talking about our inventor, David Schmidt, the CEO. He's a founder. He's an inventor. And what's really exciting about this, how smart and genius this guy is that he actually initially started creating oxygen sources for the armed forces, specifically the Navy SEALs. He created a way to get oxygen into these mini subs that were on these 30-hour missions, and to get oxygen from deriving it from water. And so when the armed forces actually realized that he was so intelligent and was out of the box thinker on delivering this, they asked him to create some other products. And so he created an energy product, an energy patch that actually burns our own body's fat for energy. And so they were using this in the armed forces. And with that technology of the infrared light and the wavelengths and things like that, he actually was able to start the development in this process of creating the X39. Now, it took over 10 years and over $4 million of discovery and testing and thing over time till in 2019, the X39 was developed and then released in 2020. So as you can see here, he was actually a 2-time recipient of Advanced Technology Award of International Hall of Fame. That is not just given to anybody, and he's actually won it 2 times, which is pretty exciting. And so now, what I really appreciated about this particular product was that it's patented. And so nobody can actually duplicate it. And that's exciting to me because being in the health and wellness industry, that a lot of different companies out there have the same products. They're Me Too products where, you have CBD, you have nutrition, you have different types of anti-inflammatory products, skin care, hair care, all kinds of different things. And it's more of a Me Too product. But there's nothing on the market like this particular product. So there's no convincing people that this one is better than that one because there's nothing else out there like it. And that's uniqueness. And that's, knowing that we have our hands on this, we are the messengers. We are the ones that get to deliver the message out to everybody and share and impact people's lives. And so understanding, the patent that it's not easily duplicatable. It took him over 10 years to even figure this technology out. But we are in a unique place. So what do stem cells actually do? How do you, when you activate your own body stem cells, like I said before, the stem cells are the basic foundational cells of every cell in the body. So one of the things when you activate the copper peptides in the stem cells is you have rapid pain relief because copper peptides also reduce inflammation as well. They also increase the production of collagen. Now, understanding collagen is the basis of every ligament, tendon, and bone function or ligament and tendon bone structure in the body. So when we start to talk about collagen production, people are as we grow in age, you start to hear about osteopenia, osteoporosis. Now, this is a safe and natural way to start laying down new collagen in the body to actually strengthen those ligaments, tendons, and bones for as we start to age through the aging process. And so that structural integrity increases over time. And these are things that are happening. You can't really experience it. You don't really feel it, but these things are happening and getting stronger and stronger. So you can see it reduces inflammation. One of the things that inflammation is the starting process of every disease out there. So when inflammation is high, that's the root of all disease processes out there. So if we can keep inflammation to a low level, our body functions more effectively. And so it accelerates supports wound healing. So it basically accelerates because we're activating our body to lay down more stem cells, then it accelerates the healing properties. That's again, when you're younger and you get abrasion or a laceration and you heal very quickly. But as we age, those wounds heal very slowly. And then you start to talk about different disease processes like diabetes and other issues where they have very little blood supply. They have very little healing properties in those extremities like the hands and the feet, and so you got to be very careful when you have some of those issues. But something like this can actually help accelerate those properties to help some of those issues going on. And then energy and vitality. So when we're producing stem cells at a faster rate, we're increasing healthier stem cells. And so that natural boost of energy and vitality. And plus we have the mental clarity, because again, if we're reducing inflammation in the body, when you start to get inflammation in the brain, then it starts to create dysfunction or slows the process down. And, some of the things that you start to see is Alzheimer's, dementia, and other mental clarity issues. So we have the ability to make an impact with that and enhance sports performances. This is one thing that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm an avid cyclist. Actually, yesterday I just raced in a road race, and I give it up to the X39 because I was patched up pretty heavily, and I actually finished second overall there's 58 people in my class, and we had some state champions and national champions in the race, and I give it all to the X39 for giving that little extra boost to get across the finish line near the front of the pack. But what I noticed when I was introduced to it, because I actually didn't have a lot of health issues, I had a little aches and pains there from past sports injuries and things like that. But what I pay close attention to is something they call heart rate variability. And that's what your basically your body's recovery, your body's ability to recovery and your heart's ability to recovery after exercise. And so that's something that I track pretty closely. Also my power output and other things like I call lactate threshold levels. And I started seeing improvement with those things. And those were quantitative numbers that I could grasp and see, because I couldn't necessarily feel something happening, but I could see those numbers start to change and start to improve. And so that, again, you talk about faster recovery from exercise. That's because our body is starting to work more effectively because of the patch is activating those stem cells and letting the body do its work that it should do naturally. And then we also talked about improved skin appearance. So when you start to build collagen, you start to tighten those underlying structures underneath the skin, and you start to get rid of the sagging skin and the wrinkles and things like that. I mean, if a lot of people that are in the skincare industry have heard of copper peptides, because they put it a lot of times in skin cream, and sometimes there's, some people absorb them, some people don't. But when you actually can activate your own body system to produce those collagen, those copper peptides, which actually increase the collagen production in your own body, that's a win-win situation. And you can start to see, I've seen people where they start to notice the wrinkles around the eyes, the skin on their arms, the skin underneath the arms, in the neck. You start to see changes over a period of time. And that's very rewarding. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. So a lot of times, I hear people like, oh, I tried it for 3 days and I didn't feel anything. Trust me, understand this, that something is going on in the body. You may not feel it, but if you stick to it long enough, you're going to see some great things happening. And we're going to show something in a little bit that the person didn't experience. They couldn't feel anything happening, but when they actually were to stand back and compare pictures over a period of time, over a 3-month period of time, there was a significant change. And so knowing that the cells were changing, and the body was doing its work. So here we have a 77-year-old woman who, it's a topographic map of the brain. So when we see in session 1, so these are done three weeks apart. So in session 1 was the baseline study. You can see the red there. That's a lot of inflammation in the brain. And so again, at 77 years old, that's even past the 60-year-old mark. So, minimal stem cell production going on. And so the body is not recovering as fast, and inflammation is starting to build up. And so that red is a lot of that inflammation. You see 3 weeks later, the lady wearing the patch on the back of the neck, and we'll say 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You start to see that redness is going away. And you start to see a little bit more blue in there. So that redness is the inflammation. So it's subsiding, and the yellow is shrinking in size as well. And the blue is starting to show up, and that's more oxygenated tissue. That's more healthy tissues in the brain. And then we go to session 3, which is 6 weeks later, which is 3 weeks after the session 2. And you start to see that light greenish blue. That's very oxygenated tissue in the brain. And so, literally what's happening in this is that inflammation is leaving, and overall function, brain function, we're talking about nerve tissue and everything, is starting to work more effectively. So in this situation, most likely mental clarity is coming back, more on track, more focus. But just to see something, again, that's quantitative, not just subjective, when somebody tells you they're feeling something, but this type of test is something quantitative that we can actually grasp and put our hands onto. So like I said, x39, this is what's happening over the first 6 months in the first few days, we're talking about 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's pretty significant, because what is happening as we age, again, I get too excited about this, but anyway, when our DNA, as we age, our DNA start to shorten a little bit, and what they call the telomeres in our body start to shrink. And so when our DNA is replicating, it's starting to create dysfunctional replication. And so again, that affects our aging process, and it affects our body's ability to function properly. But with the x39 and the stem cell increase, it actually helps keep our DNA chain lengthened. So when it's replicating, we're replicating effective, functional, healthy DNA chains, not dysfunctional ones. So just the 4,000 genes beginning to reset in just the first few days is significant impact upon people's life, health, and well-being. And then we talk about 6 weeks, and this comes down, decreased symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Again, when there's a lot of inflammation in the brain doesn't function at a high capacity. So you start to see a lot of these other issues coming about. And then we talk about within 3 months, your collagen is starting to increase. So you see the wrinkles decrease, you see hair growth increases, and we're talking the hair growth in the right areas, not all over the body. We're not going to turn it into Chewbacca or something like that. We're talking about hair growth where it's supposed to grow. But not only are people starting to see hair growth, but also, some people who were starting to gray are starting to see color in their hair, getting back to their dark, their brown or their black or whatever color they were coming back. And then you start to see, like I talked about, is that collagen produces ligament, tendon, and bone structure. So you see the structural integrity of your musculoskeletal system start to strengthen and bone density increasing. And these are significant things that are happening. Like I said, I see a ton of people that in the upper, elderly age that are suffering from osteopenia, osteoporosis, where their structural integrity, their skeletal structural integrity are thinning. And so they have to be very careful, God forbid that they fall and break a hip, and that can be detrimental to somebody in their upper years, because that can definitely affect their livelihood and their ability to get around and function. So if we have something that we can impact people's life with this X39, significant changes. And then we talk about heart revert in 6 months, the heart reverses in age. 14 out of 15 people who wore the X39 for 6 months consistently, their cardiovascular age reversed 8 years. That is huge, significant changes, because again, like I said, I'm an avid cyclist. I've actually been on rides where a lot of healthy, I ride with a lot of healthy, vibrant people, but I've been on rides where a guy actually had a heart attack. And the thing is, sometimes we don't know what's going on inside of our body, but he had some genetic issues. But just thinking if we could actually impact somebody's life like that by, him utilizing the patch and starting to reset some of the healing properties and some of the tissue that's going on and reversing his cardiovascular age in just 6 months by 8 years. I mean, that could be life-saving, and life-saving type of introduction to this. And literally when I share this with people, this is my thought process, is that this is adding days, weeks, months, maybe even years to people's lives down the road. Because if you actually look into stem cell technology, is that they're looking into not just like David Schmidt talks about anti-aging, they're talking about age reversal. They're talking about technology that's going to allow people to live longer lives, more effective and vibrant lives. And so if we have our hands on something that is, again, safe, non-invasive and affordable, because really what's out there is not affordable to most people, but we have something that is affordable to everybody. To understand the infrared technology, there's facilities out there that charge over $100 a session, a 10-minute session. They charge at $100 or more just for sessions of infrared and cold laser type therapies. And we have the ability to do this, to share this with people so that they could wear it for a month's time. They could wear it daily for a month's time for about the same cost, a little over $100 a month, $3 a day. I mean, really, what is your health worth? Is your health worth $3 a day to create longevity and health and well-being? And like I said, other facilities out there, other health and regenerative facilities out there are charging a lot more money for a really short period of time. And we have ability to share this with lots of different people. Ooh, sorry, I got a little finger happy here. So one of the things that I really appreciated with this is that we have all the information, the science in one spot. So when I was introduced to this, somebody referred me to the startx39.com. And I really like that because it was all in one place. I could take a shallow little look at it, or I took a deep dive into the research studies, the double-blind placebo studies, and all the 80 different studies that are in there. I was digging through everything because my credibility meant something to me. I mean, I've been in practice 29 years. So when I'm going to introduce something to somebody in my office, in my practice, I want to make sure that it's legit, effective, and is going to make a difference with them. And so having everything in one place that at the startx39.com, that's beautiful because again, not everybody is going to be like me. Not everybody can, not that I'm great, don't get me wrong on that. Not everybody is going to be able to share the information like I do. But you don't have to, the beauty of this is you don't have to be the expert. You point them to the site and let them do their investigation. Some people are going to want to take a deep dive into that and look at it, and some people are going to take a shallow look, but it's all there for the taking. And when you go out and share this with doctors and everybody else, it's all there again. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to understand everything. All the information is right there. So drive people to that. That's the one-stop shop for the information. Geez, I'm going quick. Okay, so how do we wear the patch? Now, so the patch is worn 12 hours on and 12 hours off. Now, understand that the patch, when they did the tests and they did these double-blind placebo studies, they put the patch in two different places. One at the either at the back of the neck or underneath the belly button. The reason they put that is that they could create duplication, that they could, if they put it the same place time and time again, and then did the studies, they could see that it was effective. If you start putting it all over the place, you don't really know, but on a test. But literally this patch can be put anywhere. I'll have patients come in sometimes and they'll have a shoulder issue. And I actually put it right directly on the shoulder. If I have somebody I'm dealing with a bad knee issue, I put it directly on the knee. But the thing is, it can work anywhere. It stimulates, it activates the stem cell production wherever you put it on the body. So the thing is, you put it on for 12 hours on, take it off for 12 hours, and then put a new patch on, okay? The reason we want to take it off is because the body will get used to the same signal and then it's not as effective. So we want to be able to take that off for 12 and then put a new one back on. The other thing about the patch is make sure you're telling people to hydrate, because the patch actually detoxifies the body. It's removing toxins and inflammation out of the body. So make sure you drink plenty of water so you can flush those toxins out of your system more effectively. So that's one of the things that we recommend. And so here's some of the patch testimonies here. You can see in the let me see here. In the first thing, they wore the patch on the skin for a laceration, and it started to heal in just a short period of time, where you could see the healing, the accelerated healing through the cheek there. And then you go down to the bottom left, where you can see over 355 days how the wrinkles are starting to go away and the skin is starting to tighten. And so, a lot of people resort to like plastic surgery and different things like that. But we have something that, $3 a day that you can actually tighten your skin without any surgical complications, without any, high cost or anything, and make an impact like that. And that it continues to do the process over a period of time. So we're activating those stem cells to continually work, over the longevity of our lifespan if we continue to wear them. And then you can see in the bottom right-hand corner is the hair, increase in hair production over just 3 months of laying down new hair. And so I always kind of joke is that, for the people that are beauticians that are in the hair industry, this is a go-to for them, because, if they start patching some people up in the hair industry, those people start to come back more frequently. And when they come back more frequently, they make more money for the haircuts, right? So it's a win-win situation. So, and then this is a gentleman that just over 3 months of wearing the X39. This is a gentleman right here in our area in the Lancaster-Palmdale region who had vitiligo. 5 years ago, he was told by his doctor that there was nothing they could do. There was no medication that was going to be able to help them get rid of this or to control it or anything, and that it was basically just going to take its course. And he was very discouraged. He was, very frustrated, and it just continued to get worse. You can't even really see, but in the picture on the left, behind the ears was really almost raw and changing colors. And then so his brother, who actually introduced this to the patches to him, the X39 patch to him about 3 months ago, got into wear it, and you can see how it's already clearing up in just 3 months period of time. You can see the significant change in the forehead, around the nose, and how, and you can just see, he was explaining how supple his skin is, and the dryness is going away, and in the tissue, it's regenerating, and so really exciting to see this. And this is a gentleman that he didn't realize that this was happening until he started to compare. I mean, I guess he could see some changes, but sometimes when you look in the mirror day in and again, you don't really realize that until you take a snapshot from a few weeks or months ago, that how the skin is significantly changing. And so he also went at our meeting last Thursday night. We did a presentation at my office, and he came and spoke, and he talked about how his arthritic pains are going away, and his mobility is improving. He's got a little more pep in his step. So he's really ecstatic, and he's excited to see how far this can go in the future, with his continuing to activate his stem cells. But this is very rewarding when I share this with people and seeing this happen. I know we're in the right place, the right time. We're making a big impact with people's lives, and this is something again that I really stressed on, is that give the patch time. I've had people, they wore it 3 days and they're like, I didn't feel anything, it must not be working. No, you can see in a picture like this that cells are regenerating, whether it be in the heart, lung, a certain organ, some type of dysfunction. But when the patch is reactivating your body's stem cells, those stem cells are going to the area of where it's needed most first. So sometimes it may not necessarily be the aches and pain. You may have dysfunction in an organ or something you don't really know about, or something in the heart is going on. And those stem cells are going to those areas to try to reinnervate, to rebuild those areas. So, stick with it. That's a stick to it in this, I guess, is what I want to, stress, is that things are going on, whether you feel it or not. And it can literally, make an impact in people's lives, save people's lives in longevity and down the road. So when it comes down to this, and we talk about stem cell activity and stem cell technology, we have our hands, like I said, on a patented technology that really nobody knows about. The beauty, not only is it so exciting that we have our hands on stem cell technology and that's affordable, but we have the ability to impact people's financial situation. And this day and age, what is most important to you? Is it family time? Is it financial security? Is it travel? Is it better health? Obviously, we have better health in the bag, with the X39, but is it getting out of debt? How many people have been affected by the inflation? I mean, in our area, most people are laughing at, our gas prices in California went through the roof. Most people have to get a second job or take a mortgage out on their home just to fill their tank up out here. It's crazy how big the gas price is. And then they just hit us with the natural gas, went through, because those prices went through the roof. And then, has anybody bought eggs lately? So talking about all the inflation that's going on, we have something that we can bridge that gap. We can bridge the gap for the people that are getting their necessities met, but we also have something that makes an impact to bring hope and the wishes and desires that people put on the back shelf. There was dreams and ambitions of people. We all had dreams and ambitions of what we wanted to do, but sometimes those get put on the back shelf. But we have something that everybody can participate in this technology here, and we can share it because we are the messengers of the X39. And understanding that stem cell therapy is becoming more popular. I've seen it now for many years, especially in the orthopedic industry and the health and wellness in the regenerative medicine facilities out here is that it's a very lucrative and popular. I mean, I have to thank the medical community because they've really publicized what stem cell therapy is, because it's a very profitable industry for a lot of doctors out there. So, but this company actually levels the playing field for everybody. So not only does it make it affordable for everybody to have access to stem cell technology, but it also makes everybody have the ability to share it and benefit from the technology and build a financial platform from it. Because prior to this, the only people that could participate in the stem cell industry were doctors. You know, they had a monopoly on that technology and that type of therapy. But now we have our hands on it, and we can make a big impact in people's financial status or levels by just getting out and sharing it. People are realizing that the stem cell industry is exploding. It's going from 2 million, that's with an M, to over a $300 billion industry. And we're right in the thick of it. We have our hands on something very exciting, and it's just a matter of getting out and sharing it. So how we start to build our revenue in this is building a team. Like I said, we are the advertisers of the company. The company puts their advertising dollars into us, and we go out and build relationship with people and share the technology with it. And when you do that, you introduce here, a little structure here is basically what we call a manager position. You introduce 2 people on your right team, 2 people on your left team. And if they sign up with a silver level or above, that right there, that structure puts you at a manager position. And then you have the ability to earn up over $25,000 a week. We're not talking about a month or a year. We're talking about $25,000 a week just from building out this structure and helping people do this foundational team structure where you help them introduce 2 people right, 2 people left, and it continues to grow. To me, it's like mini franchising. What I really like about it is because understanding I'm a chiropractor, my hands are only in this office. I can't necessarily franchise my practice to the next town or to the next state or to the next country. But in this type of business, I can actually start to create little franchises across the country and into different regions, into different countries, by just getting out and sharing it and building a little team structure like that and showing people how to do the same thing. And that gets really exciting because I only have so many hours in a day, and these hands can only get on so many people. So when you have a structure like this where you can create duplication and basically kind of franchise yourself out, it starts to grow very rapidly. And you can see in a short period of time, there's a lot of people already that have hit this $25,000 a week bonus. But also, this is not the only way the company actually pays out and rewards people. They also have a thing, what they call a matching check bonus. And this is another way that you can actually earn. The company pays you for building leaders. And when you go out and help people have success, kind of Jim Rohn talks about, if you help enough people get success, you will have success yourself. So this type of reward system is basically helping people build their team structure. And when you go out and introduce that, and the company rewards you 25% of the volume, 20% of the volume, depending on the different levels out there. So you can see how that can add up very quickly. Just think about if you helped 4 people hit that $25,000 a week thing, that's another $25,000 a week. You're talking over $50,000 a week just by building out, helping other people have success and going out and reaching out. Obviously, that doesn't happen overnight, and most people can't even fathom that type of income. But let's just think if we could help somebody make $1,000 a week, or maybe $1,500. What life changes would that make for somebody, close to you? That would significantly impact majority of the population in this day and age, just by helping them make $1,000 a week. And we can do that, and not only help them financially, but help them with their health and well-being. And then we have marketing material. So Onyx Cole and Steve and Gina Merritt have put together some of the marketing materials to where you can actually give out a patch. You have envelopes, you have some information here. One of the things that that I really like is I typically I'll give out like 3 patches. I'll put 1 patch on them. And this is one thing I always stress to people is that if they won't let me put a patch on them right there, they don't get 2 patches to go with them. So meaning they need, if they allow me to put a patch on them, then I will follow up and I'll give them 2 patches and a little information and follow up with them. And that's the basis of what you see called the 331 program, is that you introduce 3 people a day, and then you follow up with 3 people a day, and then you invite 1 person to a Zoom or a presentation. And so that is the system that we go by, but we have marketing tools available. Again, so you don't have to be the expert. You just have to point people in the right direction. And here's the team building site and training center is the build331.com. Very simple step-by-step way on how to build your team, how to start to build your structure to become manager and director and beyond. And it gives you the step-by-step basis of doing that. Again, this is beautifully put together because I don't necessarily have to be the expert, and not anybody in the team has to be the expert. They just point them to the right direction. They point them to this site and let people go through the process. I was very excited. Just recently, I introduced somebody to a Zoom. So I did the first part of the 331, and then I followed up with them. And then they were getting signed up, and they asked me, "What do I do next?" And I said, "What?" I signed them up, and then they asked me, "What do you do next?" I said, "Go to build331.com," and they're like, "Oh, I already went through every step on that. I'm ready to go." I'm like, that is amazing. That is how you create duplication, because they were already ahead of the game. They were already following along because they had plugged into a Zoom presentation like this. They saw that there was a Build 331. They were 1 step ahead, and they're already out moving and building their business. And that's the thing, is how you want to create duplication, is being able to people to get out, and the go-getters are going to jump out and do that as long as everything's in place like this. So if you point them in the right direction, it's going to make a big impact in your team. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about having a dream? What other options are there out there? I mean, they're realistic. We're talking about the inflation going. A lot of people are looking for second jobs and different opportunities. But why not have something that's that you can set your time frame around, that you can build your business anywhere you go. I mean, even this weekend when we were out in Florida at Steve and Gina's house, which was an awesome event. I encourage everybody to get to that senior director position, because they put on an awesome time, and the food and the fireworks and just being at their house. I mean, it's like a resort there, but to be able to be there and still build your business. I mean, most of the time you can't do that. But because of this type of structure and business, we are able to travel anywhere and build a business. And so do you want to be pain-free and financially free? We have something for you. And so how do you get started? So honestly, thank the person again who invited you to this, because you meant enough to them for them to reach out to you to make an impact in your life. They thought enough of you to reach out and tell you about it. So what you do is you basically pick a pack. If you have a business acumen where you want to, you see a vision for yourself and you want to make some things happen, I say at least start at the gold level. And so that you can get a sleeve of patches. A sleeve is a 30-day supply. So you can get a sleeve of patches for yourself, for your spouse or your loved one. And then you have some patches to be able to get out and sample with people. Because the thing is that I realized when I was starting to look at the business and started to kind of work with it, the more patches I put on people, the more results I got. And that brought confirmation. That brought confirmation to me that I was doing the right thing and helping people. And so getting out and putting patches on people, I think Mike Hernandez talks about, I was like a little kid with stickers, put a patch, and I still do it to this day when I have people that come in, because this has basically complemented my practice. When I've been able to help is in our industry, to be able to go out and help people feel better. That's what I'm in healthcare for, is to make an impact with people's life. And if I can do it with my hands, if I can do it with the x39, it's a win-win situation. So for me, when I got started and I saw this, I went straight to the diamond pack, because that put enough product in my hands that where I could get out and put patches on people and start to build that network very quickly. But basically, you get in where you fit in. You find a package that fits your budget, and you get started with that. The beauty of it is you can always upgrade to the next patch, but to maximize the compensation plan and the team payouts is you want to get to a gold level. Whether you have to upgrade to get there, or you start at that level, you definitely want to get to a gold level. And then you want to set up your auto ship. You want to have patches coming in on a monthly basis for you and your spouse or your loved one, just because you want to continue to keep those stem cells activated. Because if you stop activating those stem cells, you start regressing back to where you were prior. So we want to live a life of health and well-being and longevity. So we got to continue to keep activating those stem cells. So that's what our monthly auto ship is about, but it also helps keep those points rolling forward. We can get a little bit more in depth on another training on maybe one of the Saturday trainings, but you want to keep that auto ship going so that the points, as you're building your team, those points roll over and they start to accumulate, kind of like a savings account. As you're building volume, as the company is paying you back for getting out and sharing the message about these patches, you continue to build points. And so that auto ship is very important. So what I strongly encourage, if whoever invited you, get back with them today, help have them get you set up and get a spot. This realistically, the sooner you get started, the better it is. There's something they call the first mover's advantage. And the thing is that when you lock in a spot now the people that are getting introduced after you are potentially going to fall into your team. You're not going to be in theirs. They're going to be in your team, and that volume, whatever is created, is going to help generate income for you and your partner, your spouse. So the thing is, lock in a spot now, so that as we're spreading the word, spreading the message, all those people that are coming in, they have that's within your team are going to have the ability to come underneath you, and you're going to be able to grow a team very quickly with that. And so